Hello everyone, I hope you can hear me alright. I'm just gonna double check that you can. I don't think they can.
No, they definitely can. They definitely
They
can.
definitely can't. You can?
100%.
Oh dear. Right, okay, sorry, this is... Okay, you can hear me. That's brilliant. Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to AEC Tier S. Just to introduce ourselves, I am the lead commentator for this season, Joseph F1. You will know me very well, and you'll also know my co-commentator very well as well, in the form of Ross Greenhorn. First of all, let's welcome you in. How are you doing? Are you alright? Are you happy to be back?
Very happy to be back. I can surprised to say I've never been on TRS before, so it's actually I'm very happy to be here. Happy to finally make it onto the TRS scene. I guess I've done a bit of tier 1, tier 1, 2, with tier 1, tier 2 before, but tonight it'll be a very good night. You know, back again, TRS, highest tier, best drivers racing there once again. 10 new teams, well, 9 new teams tonight, obviously, with the late dropout of Team TF10. I'm sure a lot of people won't really realise that, but nevertheless.
Oh, we've got a pre-race interview, guys. We've got a pre-race interview. It's the first time for everything. You're that desperate to say hello, aren't you?
He's gone. He's gone.
Is he gone? Oh right, I don't have notifications. Hello, Matt. Oh, he can't hear us, can he? He's got no audio, but I'll say hello to Matty. Anyway, who's in the live chat? Please feel free to introduce yourselves. But Ross, I did want to start by talking the calendar. Of course, it's round 1 tonight here in Qatar. But if we flick on over to the calendar screen for the very first time, you can see at the locations we are racing at this season. We're starting and ending in the Gulf nations with Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Abu Dhabi all present on this season's schedule. Round 7, marking the midway point, is of course Monaco. And we've got some pretty unorthodox venues in there as well, such as Australia, such as Miami, and obviously in Monaco as well. What do you make of this calendar, and do you think it will produce a really close season?
I think it's a close round, to be fair. I think it's competitive. I like the difference in tracks. I like the fact you've got the high downforce and low downforce together at some point. It's not just all kind of crammed into one. The likes of Qatar being the first round is going to be an exciting one. The likes of Portugal being back on it as well. So the introduction of some of the other tracks, China, Australia, Hungary last season as well, was also a fantastic race. So it'll be, you know, it's going to be one of those seasons where anyone can take points from anywhere. Monaco will be one of the rounds where you can see a kind of pool of drivers pick up points that they might not have picked up before. Obviously, last night was the first world race that was around Monaco. You've seen a couple of surprise podiums as well around there. So yeah, so a couple of them are a bit a couple of them are a bit surprising, you know. But I think towards the back end of the season, you'll start to see people really start to go for it for the title. If the title is not confirmed by then, I think it will be an exciting season all round. For just looking at the calendar alone.
Yeah, absolutely, I do agree with you, and I think some of the intention behind it was obviously to get 14 races in first and foremost, but you know, next season on this game, sort of cycle through some of the other tracks as well, and just making sure we cover all areas. So you know, I'm glad to see a nice variety of tracks on there, pretty much following the same lines as well as Tier 1 and Tier 2. Of course, Tier S last season was slightly out of sync with the assists tiers in terms of circuits, because of course it was introduced for the first time as a no assists tournament. So it is very, very good to have AEC Tier S back on your screens and for the very first time here tonight in Qatar. Just an update on the lobby, we are waiting on 3 more drivers, I believe, unless we haven't managed to source the TF10 replacement at the moment, which we'll get onto. I think we'll get onto that now, Ross, onto the Ross
so quickly.
Right, sorry about that, guys. I had no idea looking at the roster screen we hadn't included the audio on that. So we won't do that for the time being. I will get the game source up in just a moment. But yeah, let's go back to TF10, which was the question I was asking. That it's the end, isn't it, for them? And obviously a few of their drivers going to Parnell.
Yeah, no, I would say it was a bit. It wasn't really much of a surprise. There wasn't much really going on the Xbox side. Also, a very very successful PS and PC side for their part, but just I'll say sometimes it just doesn't work for these teams. We've seen it before, where teams think about branching off. You've seen ETA try it, and it just didn't seem to work out. So maybe some people just underestimate how hard it can be. And I would say they had a couple of competitive drivers in there, the likes of Amin, Iggy, and Tude. So. Yeah, it's not really surprising. Everyone could kind of see it from a while back that they weren't going to be in for very long. But I believe the replacement's already been found. I'm not going to 100% be sure on that. But yeah, no, but whoever comes in, I'm sure will still be exciting enough to make it still a very competitive season among everyone on the grid. And yeah, no, I mean, fair play to them. They gave it a try, but it just didn't seem to work out for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe Tom Nepp is trying to do the roster thing for us at the moment, which we appreciate. And by the way, I think the replacement is ETE. There was a little bit of a challenge regarding Cam's role in both ETE and Parnell Racing, but I believe a solution has been found, and there is some sort of external management going on in one of the teams. I'll try and find out a little bit more on that, but a very last minute replacement, and of course, you know, any effort tonight would be astonishing. We've now got all 20 drivers in the lobby, and we have Moo Moo Milk and Easton as the no assists represent. At the minute. I think Tom's fiddling with the stream. Oh, it keeps going back! We don't want it to go back. We don't want it to go back.
We can hear it now. We can hear it now. It's on the. It's on the.
Is it on the rosters?
Yeah, it's working. It's working. It's working.
Well, let's give it a test, and let's put Parnell Racing at the top then. Are we loud and clear? Because I can't hear it on my laptop. So
I can. We are fine. We're
lovely.
Fine.
Lovely. This is how the Parnell Racing lineup is looking then, and of course 3 of those acquisitions from TF10, of course, in the form of 2D, Expert Almond and Amin. And it was a late call-up tonight for Amin, who I believe is making his first competitive start for Parnell Racing. So some pretty big shoes to fill in the form of PR Jack L, who's had some throttle problems. But what do you make of Parnell Racing?
A very competitive lineup. I've got to say, I was a bit surprised about some of the names on there. The likes of Jack L being there, I think, is one of the standouts in that roster. Lucas as well, obviously leaving MVR, moving over to Parnell. Stokey as well, another one that we've not really seen a lot on this game, but we'll be looking to make an impact. Today, Expert Almond and Amin as well, obviously 3 from TF10 who were already strong drivers in their own sense. Obviously, Today being at BSR and MVR, Expert Almond also being at Shazoo, Amin also being in that MVR and BSR merger. So it was, yeah, it's still a very competitive lineup, and they can easily pick up a lot of points this season, and maybe even put a little title charge on.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's see how they get on then, and let's jump to the Losail International Circuit. We are live in the pit lane. Hello, guys. It is good to have you on board. Some of our features on this main screen, just to talk you into them. At the bottom, we've got a little cycle of the teams and the cars they are using. Of course, we often have a lot of newcomers come into this. They might recognise the team, but perhaps not the car they're driving, so that's handy as well. New followers on the right-hand side. You would have seen this all already if you've been watching some of the other streams. And yeah, the Loveland Designs logo is quite prominent, but what a guy he is to actually get a little bit of a sponsorship flavour onto our screens as well. He'll be joining us across multiple races this season when he has the chance, or whenever that might be. But Down in the pit lane, 18 minutes on the clock then, Ross, and we've seen some pretty special laps around here in recent weeks. Are we aiming for sort of the high 19s today?
I can see it. Can definitely see it with some very quick drivers in here, like Liam Bowman also taking a good qualifying result in Tier 2. He was on for about a pole lap, but I believe he did mess up the lap in the end in WR Tier 2, like FRT Rain as well. Another man I've heard do a lap in the 19s, Magician, Lucas, Arch. So just everyone on the grid is so competitive with each other. It's going to be a bit of a scrap for pole position. I've got to say, Joseph, I am impressed that ETE have put together a lineup and they are in this lobby. I just realised there, both Ferrari cars originally for TF10, now Euro Titan Esports are in it their two Scuderia Ferraris, and they will be racing tonight, so it'll be exciting for them. Obviously getting a very, very late call up, a matter of 20 minutes or so, fair play to them getting two drivers in, willing to come and do it, and hopefully they can do pretty well with a very lack of practice.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, fair play to those, and whether there'll be a permanent replacement, I think for the time being they are, unless, something else changes at the moment. But out first then is BRT Magician. And BRT, of course, really were an amazing story in last season's Tier S P3. They finished just P7 in the mini-series, but of course, we can't read too much into that. Magician rejoining the team on July the 14th, and his goal tonight, or at least this season, is to try and get some points, is what he said on Twitter. I think he's more than capable of doing that. I think he can do a lot more than that, especially on this grid.
Yeah, no, I think he'll surprise himself really with the results he can get. He probably has underestimated himself in that factor. I do think he's a very quick driver. On his day, he can sometimes be very unbeatable when he's on the track. So I think he will be one to watch out. Obviously, his time in NRX was some pretty successful results as well, in the likes of NRC and other tournaments as well. So yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see how Magician gets on. He's just going to be flying on through his first qualifying lap, and the first proper qualifying lap of the season. Obviously, it's only an 18-minute short qualifying, and that is an unfortunate end and a short abrupt end to that lap. That is an invalidation. Magician's season already getting off to not the greatest of starts, but yeah, no, long race ahead, and I'm sure BRT will try and surprise us even more.
Absolutely. I think next up will be his teammate Carsey, actually, but Magician making a very easy mistake on the exit of turn 2. Might have the fuel to go again. Needs to back out quite early if he wants to do that. Carsey making his way through turn 6 now. The slowest corner on the circuit brings you in to the right-hander of turn 7. 5th gear now fully on the throttle. Might pick up a little bit of traffic up ahead, but it is the next car. Magician, his teammate, so he shouldn't cause too much havoc. Maybe even offer a very small slipstream here, which he is doing, and well within the AEC rulebook, as we know very well. Just getting a little bit of a wash, potentially of understeer as he followed his teammate into the triple right-hander of 12, 13 and 14. Tricky left-hander now of turn 15. There's a big bump on the inside curb, which can cause a few problems. We've seen some spins in the past here as well. Now round to the final corner, should be the first lap time of the session as he comes up towards the line now. Sorry, after Liam Bowman, but it is Carsey to the line and goes about half a tenth slower.
Yeah, good laps already so far from Carsey and Liam Bowman. MVR remain in of 21.0. Furious into the 0.7s. The times are very much varying. Findayum at 20.9, I believe. Alpha Tauri next of FRT Harvard Future Racing Team, looking to see if he can cross the line nice and fast. Now it's a 20.6 for him. You can see all the variations of lap times currently. Everyone else just across the line as well. That's a Ferrari close to it. Movie Milk just starting off his first flying lap. Ogwin 20.4. So you can see we've actually got everyone in a completely different time from each other. So it's all getting close though to everyone about the 20s. I mean, just outside of that 20 barrier, but already very, very competitive along the lines of FRT Rain there as well. 20.3, both Mercedes giving each other a pull down the straight, Arch across the line, and he does jump to the top of that 20.2.
He does indeed. PSR Arch quickest then after about 5 minutes in this session. So we've got a couple of cars rounded the corner. I think next across the line is PR Lucas. He goes 9th and ahead of Findium. Shizu Ruben crossing the line and he goes 7th quickest as well. Then it's one of the Ferraris, the ETE drivers, who I believe was invalid on that particular occasion, leaving Haloginek, the next car to cross the line. Deploy used, revving out in 7th gear and going 12th quickest as well. ERS, especially on hot laps around here, very important because you do actually need to, consider switching it off halfway around the lap just to make sure you've got enough to not hit the deployment limit and, maximise your straight line speed on the run up to the line.
Yeah, you're costing yourself vital time when you come up to that straight. When you don't have that battery usage, sometimes it can be a 1 or 2 tenths of a difference with the battery, without the battery. So yeah, drivers really need to think about where is the smartest place. They can kind of flick off the ERS just for a short amount of time, so they don't lose that too much time, and they can have it for that straight because it's a crucial part of the track. You've got to have enough straight line speed going down this track to make some overtakes down the inside, and you also got to make sure you have enough downforce because it's a very high downforce track. That whole middle sector being very twisty and windy as well. PSR Placky now jumping up into 4th place at that 20.342, not far behind Carsey and just a little bit ahead of FRT Range. So yeah, a couple of people already back on outlets. Magician on his way out. CRF1 Easton actually invalidated his first run along with Drobble, and so did Shizu Nino. So yeah, as you can see, the gaps are really not big at all between 1st and 14th. I'm going to just double check what that is for you. 7.5 tenths pretty much is the gap between PSR Arch and MVR Amin. So you can really see it is actually getting really close.
Yeah, he is indeed. BRT Magician going again here. Invalidated his first run. We were on board with the Alfa Romeo and BRT driver on that run. Of course, the BRT colours well represented on this new look Alfa Romeo livery. Of course, the red and black coming through turn number 3 now, and he's got further than he did on his previous run. Going into turn 4 now. 2 very similar profile corners are turn 4 and 5, which sees you exit and onto turn 6 now as well. The MotoGP long lap penalty on the outside of that corner. Won't be using that tonight, obviously, but the sausage curbs that you can see on most corners are actually installed purposefully for F1 on its own. So of course MotoGP don't use those. It was a circuit designed and built for the sole purpose really of motorcycle racing, but now of course back as a Formula 1 circuit. We could though be going to a street circuit in Doha in the near future, and it's another invalidation for BRT Magician on the 3rd part of the triple right-hander. He abandons at the very last second, but a lot of pressure now on BRT Magician.
Yeah, that's 2 invalidations in a row for the Bunga Racing Team driver. He won't be happy with that one, especially for how very slightly he went over the line there. He'll be annoyed to have invalidated that run, but yeah, he'll be back out soon, fighting ready to see if he can do another good lap. I think there's going to be his teammate just starting off his next run. Carsey already up in 3rd place. He had a fantastic time and over in the TIR World Series in Big 2 as he finished up being in P2 just behind FRT Chelsea. So yeah, he knows what it's like to be driving in the front 3 at this track, and already looking very strong as the Alfa Romeo. His teammate already having not the greatest of times, but maybe if his teammate can give him a little bit of a toe on his lap, like we saw with PSR Arch and PSR Blackie, that he can really use that to an advantage. Obviously he's only about a 10th behind PSR Arch, Liam Bowman only just up the road as well, so be interested to see how he can do. But he's already got a purple optimal middle sector coming up towards turn 7 now. You see turning very late at that corner, very much past the 50-meter braking board, through turn 8, and now this fast right-hander at turn 9, and this long kind of swooping left-hander at turn number 10. You can see it, if you run a little bit wide there, that's an invalidation, but this is probably my favourite part of the track here, the fastest part of the track. This full sector being flat out at wrong turn 12 he goes now. You can see straight on, still flat out at turn 13. Purple optimal middle sector again, through he goes for sector 3, turn 14. Now turn 15 with one more corner to attack at turn 16 for Carsey 0111 for Bunga Racing Team. Can he be the one to jump to the top of the charts and light up the timing sheets? Take that provisional pole position. Here he is with chance here with DRS open all the way down the straight. No toe given to him as we saw with PSR Arch and PSR Blackie. Carsey's across the line though, and it is a 20.183. That is an absolute flyer from the Northern Irishman.
Pole position, he got in big twos. Can he get one in AEC Tier S? That would be a big challenge. But indeed, he's going the right way about it at the moment. Slipstream incoming for Liam Bowman off of his teammate Drobble. And up to the line comes the Scotsman now. Can he get it too and beat Carsey? Yes, he can. Not by much, 14 thousandths of a second. Liam Bowman now on provisional pole position. We've got Ogween going around at the moment. Amin has just got up into P7. A fantastic lap by the Parnell Racing driver. A good start indeed for him. NRX Furious now rounded the final corner. Ogween up in P6, his teammate. No slipstream here for Furious. Up he comes then to the line. How much can he shave off of his time? Not much, actually. 81 thousandths of a second in P11 there at the moment. Only gaining the one position. Who else have we got to come? We've got Triarty crossing the line. Eastern invalid as well. The driver yet to set a lap at the moment. We've got Placky at turn number 6, 300ths of a second up. FRT Rain invalidating on the exit of turn 2 and on to turn 3. Some mistakes being made out there at the moment. Is there anyone catching your eye though?
Yeah, I'm not sure who PR Lucas just rounding out the final for Parnell Racing. DRS open at the rear wing of that Red Bull car. Can he jump his teammate? NP maybe even further up the road. Lucas across the line. He does jump his teammate and goes into a Parnell Racing 8 and 9. The Aston Martin next of Drobble 9276. He is actually going to be on a invalidated lap. I didn't actually catch where he invalidated, but he must have been given a tow by his teammates. He's just dived into the pit lane. Now Vittori next of FRT Harvey. I don't know if he is up in his time. He's just starting off the lap. That my game is lying to me once again. PSR Blackie though is going to be given a tow down the straight by his teammate. They have time to perfection once again as PSR Arch just starting off his lap. Blackie used to always reds on this lap. Blackie across the line. And it is the first car into the .0. It's a 20.090. That's exactly what you want to see from Paradox Sim Racing, Placky and Arch using teamwork to absolute perfection.
Absolutely. PSR Placky then, the Dutch driver, quickest so far. Who else have we got? Because Arch has just started his flying lap at the moment. He won't get a slipstream on this return. So we'll have to do all the hard work by himself. 2 100ths down going into turn 6, which marks the start of Sector 2 on this lap. TTM Zinity, by the way, up into P8. The former NRX driver back in TTM, announced not too long ago. Actually, just about a week after I think the return of the team was announced. So he's had to reintegrate himself and he's doing a good job about that at the moment. And yes, indeed, Rev, TF10 have been replaced by ETE. I think it was Yoran, who actually couldn't make most races, and he was one of just 2 drivers remaining on the roster, so it was an absolute no-brainer to get rid. Let's see how Arch is doing. He's back into the pit lane, so has made a mistake on that lap somewhere. Ruben Paulinho up in P5 at the moment as well. Zinity to come into the pit lane, which I think just leaves Magician, who's on his 3rd attempt here, and he's backed out of it. This is a horrible, horrible showing so far, especially when his teammate is up in 3rd.
Yeah, no, I don't know what is going on for him. He just cannot seem to get the lap together. He just, obviously the other 2 he was sticking together, but he invalidated this time. Must have been a mess up at the start. During the end part of Sector 2, so he's just really struggling out there to hook up this quality lap. He knows that he can be up there with his teammate probably in at the top 5, but he just cannot seem to get a lap together for Magician. But as you can see, Joseph, everyone in the pit lane watching that timer tick down. Amin and Findium actually already out on track, looking to get as clear of a track as possible. I mean, the furthest car ahead, so he will be probably his final attempt at a lap. He probably sees how busy the track can get during the final, 2 or 3 minutes. So everyone will be trying to get out as early as possible, not too early that you're going to cost yourself any sort of track time. So I mean, he's going to round at the final corner now and go for one of his final flying laps now.
Yeah, he will indeed, and drivers in the pit lane, especially those that are giving slipstreams, will be looking at the clock and they'll be looking at their teammate's position on the track map, and they'll be trying to get their timing spot on, because if you catch your driver too soon, that's a complete waste of a slipstream. We've seen that happen before regarding timings, so we'll keep an eye out on that if anybody's going to do it in these final runs. 3.5 minutes to go, and NVR Amin, the only driver out there at the moment, the Belgian driver who spent a lot of his time speaking to other PSG fans on Twitter. That's not a bad thing. I just thought I'd put that out there. Is 7 thousandths up on his personal best first sector, and that is not too bad considering just how actually difficult it is to gain time around here, considering the profile of a lot of the corners. Fast, flat out, or even medium speed, as Amin is taking one of those at turn 10 now. Slight twitch on the exit, and that twitch was enough to invalidate him. So this lap in the bin, but does he have time to go again?
I'm not sure he does. I think he's got enough time to go again, but well, yes, he needs to get that battery back and he needs to have enough fuel. He needs to make sure that he's got enough fuel so that if he did make that mess up, he can go again. I'm not sure what his plan is. He's going to go into the pits, but that'll be it for MVR. I mean, he definitely will not have enough time to get back out, to go into the pits, you know, pull the screen and whatever down, and come back out on what will be probably a used set of soft tyres. So, yeah, not a great ending to qualifying for MVR. I mean, P11 at best for the Parnell racing driver. Findium, though, is still flying down on his lap. You see what I mean? Just invalidate there. Just a moment ago, Findium seems to be flying up nicely through this part of the track. A 10th up on his current time of 20.5, so a very fast time. That will put him up into the top 10. Just flying on through his final sector, he runs wide, and that is another invalidation. I tell you what, Joseph, drivers are struggling out there to keep it on the track. This track is so fast, then it goes slow all of a sudden, then it goes back fast again. So you've just got to get that. You've got to get that perfect lap together. I'll say Plackey, Bowman, and Carsey finding no problem so far in the .1s and .0s. But will we see a 19? I really would like to see it.
Yeah, I think we're getting closer. Plackey the closest, obviously on provisional pole, the 20.090. I know that doesn't come across too well on the stream when it comes to the purple colour. So that is the lap time at the moment to beat FRT Harvey out there at the moment. Picking up a slight slipstream from the Red Bull, but he's not getting out of the way! That could be a qualifying ban for Parnell Racing, as Lucas has failed to get out of the way of FRT Harvey. And that is a big moment in the opening qualifying of the season. Straight to the steward's room, you would assume. BRT Magician on his 4th attempt at the moment. And again, I'm not sure is he pushing here, or has he just turned his ERS off? It's back on now, coming around the exit of turn 6, so he is strategically using his ERS rather than aborting his lap at the moment. Same going for NRX Furious. Flashing at the rear means he is preserving for the final straight. PR Lucas starting again here, but he knows he might be in a little bit of trouble as for his team as well. PSR Arch has, I think, given his teammate a tow, and I'm not sure he's on a flying lap, actually. I think he might have just sacrificed it for his teammate here. PSR Plackey going quicker still at the moment. Let's see how these final laps unfold. We've got cars coming to the line still, Ross. BRT Magician, one of them. Crunch time for him.
Yeah, Magician's got to make sure to get his lap in. I've seen how good that was to just easily turn off the ERA. He's now got enough to cross the line with. And finally, he does get that lap in. 20.3 is not a bad attempt from the other BRT driver who's next to cross the line. Looks like NR is Furious. He's been flying down the straight on this lap. Now DRS open for the Nexus racing driver. Furious across the line. P12 at best for NRH Furious. Not as great as performance in qualifying ever. Findium P14, Amin P13, FGE 3RT. Next across the line for FGE, and it is P13 at best for him as well. The Alpha Tauri of, I believe, FRT raising across the line. Now, can he jump any higher? No, he cannot. He did improve his time, but not enough to jump any higher than P6. Shizu Rubin will be one of the next ones across the line, but PSR Plackey, can he improve on his lap? DRS open in the straight. Is it going to be a 19? It's not a 19, but it's still a 20.029. Can Liam Bowman fire back? Carsey has invalidated on his final lap. Liam Bowman is going to come across the line very shortly. DRS open in the next 200 metres for the Aston Martin car. His teammate down in last place. Can he improve? Can Liam Bowman be the man to steal pole position for Novice Racing? Plackey's already on the top. Liam Bowman into the 19.9s. Wow, that's an incredible lap. In trouble right at the death of it. A 20.2 puts him P5.
A mega qualifying for Novus Racing at the death. Liam Bowman into the 19s, putting a 10th on the heads of Paradox Sim Racing's Plackey. What an ending to qualifying that was. Carsey on row 2. Alongside Ogween, we've got 4 different teams in the top 4. Ruben Paulinho was close at the death as well, putting in a big lap. but there was some really big moments there. ETE, unfortunately, I'm sure there's been a lack of practice for those two, locking out the back row for FGE. It's 14th and 18th. Finding it down in 16th. We know he hasn't had, obviously, too much racing time on this game, so I'm sure with experience he'll be sort of back to his best. But what a lap time that was from Liam Bowman, of course, marking the end of the qualifying session.
Yeah, that was something else from Liam Bowman. The man has been absolutely flying on this game in F1 23. Takes the first pole position of the Tier S season PSR Blackie, just in behind him with a 20.02, and as you said, about a tenth of a second clear is Liam Bowman of Blackie. Carsey get a very nice P3 start for Bunga Racing Team. Magician in the end did get that lap, only P9 for him. Ogween in P4, his teammate also struggled for qualifying position. Drobble, good lap at the end as well. Shizu Rubin up there in P6 alongside his French compatriot Shizu Nino down in P10. Arch P7, Rain P8, Magician in P9, Nino P10, Zenity P11, Lucas P12, NRX Furious 13th, Tree RT 14th, Amin 15th, Findium 16th, Harvey 17th, Haloginak 18th, CRF on Eastern and Moomin Milk a lock out the back wheel of the grid for a pretty poor qualifying from ETE, but a lack of practice has got to be brought into this scenario for them.
Right, it's almost race time, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time this season, let's roll the intro. Hello everyone, good evening and a very warm welcome to the season opening Qatar Grand Prix in AEC Tier S. We're here at the Lusail International Circuit, just outside Lusail, which is north of Doha here in Qatar. Some hot summers, some very dry days here, but this is the circuit that we are racing on. 16 corners, 10 to the right and 6 to the left, forming a clockwise configuration, which is really quite harsh on the front left tyres. Could we see some late tyre drama here this evening? Coming in at 5.418 kilometres. It'll be a long race for the drivers. A difficult one to stay inside the white lines, of course, with the track limits, as we've already seen in
Sure, so you forgot audio again.
What?
There's no audio on it.
How is there no audio? It's the intro!
There's none on it.
For God's sake.
I got like the first bit. And a cut off.
Okay, so apparently the audio cut off, guys. I don't know how to work this useless crap, but I was explaining how we might see some tyre drama.
Wait, no, I think it was on actually.
Are you?
I don't know. I think I messed up. Hold on. I think mine may have just messed up.
I ruined the intro.
I'm gonna take.
I told you. What did I say? 6-1. You'd speak through the intro. 6-1.
I did not mean it.
I want my money. I want my money. It's all right. It's all right.
I'm gonna take the. I'm gonna take the blame. That was my bad.
For God's sake.
Apologise. I'm gonna apologise.
The big build-up. Unbelievable.
Sorry guys, that was my bad. I don't know if it was just the audio was messed up or whatever, but I couldn't hear it, and then it just came back all of a sudden. So yeah, I'm just gonna apologise for that.
Give me my money. No, it's all right. I'm not going to be able to take the rest of this race seriously.
It's round one, for God's sake. We're allowed to do this.
We're allowed to have a slip up.
We'll get the hang of it sooner rather than we'll get it right later rather than sooner. Sorry. I bet you when Loveland comes in, it'll all go perfect. Then it'll be then they get our green and off comms, protests will start coming in.
I hope Tom's not here, and I hope he puts a lot of passion into it. JT as well. the editor. Apparently damage is off, which might be cause for a restart. So I recommend getting the grid.
Let me double check. I think I might have my. Let me just double check. Damage is off. That is, yeah. I've had a bad day today. Let's just say
You've
that.
had a bad day, but it means we can do the
I've had
intro
a
again.
shocker. Yeah, you can do the intro now.
We can
See,
do it again.
see, that
We
was
can do it
strategic for
again.
me. It was very strategic.
Way!
See, right. I'll call the restart. I'll put it in the announcements. Let me put it in the announcements.
No damage is incentive to hit people, isn't it? So we can't race like that. Unfortunately. Zach wants to do comms. Well, I think anything's better than what's just happened, so I'm joking, guys. But it is our first restart in of the season. It's come 33 minutes in. Fuel was also set to easy. Ross, are you okay? Like, do we need to talk?
Oh my! I think I've just had I've had a terrible.
You've had a bad day.
You know what it is? The last time I started lobbying AEC as well, I made the same mistakes. I think it's the AEC. I never mess up anywhere else other than AEC. I do feel bad for Tom Lip and Brett and all the rest though. I'll just take them. I'm a fault for this whole scenario that's happened.
Brett says Enzo Maresca is bold. He is bold. He is
That's
very
true.
bold.
Should I use my channel points to request a Brett just to make sure Brett keeps talking in the chat?
Well, Brett, I did some odds on Ross talking through the intro. I said 6-1, which now that I think about it is incredible odds. Like almost too nice.
That's free money.
It is free money at the end of the day.
I'm going to take a guess it was a dry race. I'll just double check with everyone now.
Looks like it. Oh well, we're gonna have a lights out here. No, we're not gonna make you see the lights out. We're going to back shortly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to AEC TRS just after a little bit of maintenance. It's good to go over now some of our admins, and of course myself and Ross have already made predictions over on Bella Fox's channel. That is well worth a watch if you want to do that. But Brett, Shush and JT joining us in saying that PSR are going to win the championship. We've had some bottom predictions for TF10, and bear in mind when we did the predictions, TF10 did have a roster of 5 or 6, so we would obviously put them last. We'd obviously put them in the bin because they're not here. So there is a little bit of outdatedness going on, that is for sure. But yeah, NRX says Kwabowder and Tom Nepp. What do you make of that?
I think that's I think it's a fair shout. Obviously, last season's second placers, they were very strong. Sorry, they won. My bad. Sorry, I'm completely the wrong tournament. Yeah, they won the last race, didn't they? Yeah. Yeah, I don't see why not. They're also going to go for 2 in a row. Obviously, no Rusty in the roster. Obviously, was a bit of a shock to people, but obviously there was a reason for that. Maybe he can't make the day, whatever. But still, a very strong roster, nevertheless. So obviously, the likes of Allqueen and Furious today can pick up good points for them. So yeah, I think that's not a bad prediction at all. So I think I predict them second behind PSR because I still do think that PSR are just a bit too strong for everyone at the minute. But yeah, no, I don't think that's a bad call for them putting NRX first. But as I said, as the season goes on, you might see the likes of Levi Race, Lagerif, Maester 9, whoever it may be, they'll have a good race no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the roster now on your screen as you were mentioning. Apparently the start time's on random. So
I've not done. I'm just doing a grid first, and I'm going to serve it. Don't worry. I'm not going to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I'll just forward that message. But yep, like you said, the roster here. Possibly enough to take the title, but we'll wait and see. Racing for NRX tonight is Furious. Joined the team on April the 17th. Some really good recent results, actually, including P4 World Monaco. That was just last night. And a P3 finish in WOR Saudi Arabia. That's, yeah, that was the most recent event as well. TTC victories, so he's in a good run of form as well. Ogween, who won the final mini-series race, he joined on July the 11th for the F1 23 game following the closure of TV8. So, yeah, that's 2 drivers who are very much capable of tasting race victory. And indeed, the Rosewater served on the Qatar Grand Prix podium rather than the alcoholic beverage. I like this passion from Brett. You know, title rivals and all that. But, you know, the respect here is reciprocal. But yeah, we'll be going very shortly. The grid is being formed by Ross in the lobby. Will be no more than 2-3 minutes before the race start as well.
Yeah, we're not far away. I'm just making sure I get this fully correct. I'm just making sure I've positioned, really, to be honest. Yeah, I just want to make sure P.O. Lucas has just joined in. That's completely ruined my grid. Perfect. Let me just make sure. I think we are good to go. There might be 1 or 2 out of position, but I'm just going to double check with everyone. Make sure that there's only 3 positions I'm unsure of, and that is 15, 16, and 17. And 18, sorry.
Um,
I'm just going to add everyone that is in those positions because I don't know where they are.
Can you not play back on the stream, or at least I can try and
I
find them
cannot
as
play
well.
back on the stream. That's what I was trying to do. I couldn't do it for some reason. I don't know what's happened.
I'll have a look then. We'll go back to the main stream because you don't need to see the NRX roster for much longer. You can instead see the beautiful Qatar Round 1 graphic. Nice. Oh god, that's my stream, not the AEC stream. Oh dear, this it's not going well.
Yeah. Which I need to take big blame for. We could get the look at me actually.
Press the wrong screen.
I did get him. Right, no, that's it. I've done it right. I've got it right. Yes.
Got it right? Got it right. Okay. Are you sure? Do we need 5 minutes to triple check?
I'm gonna run through the settings quickly, so let's just waffle a bit. Business restrictions. Fine. No force cockpit cam. Making sure. Realistic overall. Damage is on. I think I've done it this time. Yep, I think we're fine. We are 100% fine, Joseph. We are good to go.
100%.
I am sure
Million
of it.
percent.
We can run the intro this time and not be interrupted by me as well.
Should we try and run the intro again?
I'll let you do it now. I'll jump on mute so I can't speak.
Just double check. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll wait for the drivers to ready up, and then we'll just. I got. I'm still stunned. After what happened.
Yeah, that was completely my bad. But you know what, right? We're all here for the fun and the giggles, and that is a part of the end of season documentary where we messed up the first race intro.
It's a Twitter clip. It's a Twitter clip.
It's a great Twitter clip. It's a fan by me as well. Of course, it's going to be in it.
Right, guys, we're getting ready to go once again. Well, welcome back everyone. It's attempt 2 at the Lusail International Circuit here in Qatar. And we will attempt to go racing for the second time following a slight mishap with the lobby settings. You're welcome back to Qatar, of course, north of Doha for the Lusail International Circuit then. 16 corners, 10 to the right and 6 to the left. And of course, the clockwise configuration that I was mentioning puts a lot of strain on the front left tyre. It's not been resurfaced since the opening round. It's opening, sorry, in 2004, so the highly abrasive surface will prove a real challenge. Welcome back to the pit lane then, and alongside me for this race is Ross Greenhorn. Of course, you mentioned me, well, you heard me mentioning some of the features of the track there. How do you think that will play into the driver's strengths or indeed weaknesses tonight?
Yeah, it'll be an interesting factor to pull into the fact that it was a brand new circuit, brand new time for the drivers, brand new season, so obviously nothing to lose going into this first race. Liam Bowman on pole, BSR Placky P2, Carsey in P3, NRS Ogwin P4, so that front and second row looking very, very strong. 4 different teams in that first 4 slots, so that will be an interesting start to see if BSR Placky maybe look to the inside line early on. Does Carson maybe get a good start? NRS Ogwin jumped a lot of them. It's always good to see. It seems like everyone is picking the same strategy on the hard compound of tyre, except DSR Arch, Fender Yum, and Haloginak F1 down in P7. I don't know what's actually happened. Someone is in the wrong position, but I'm going to ignore that for the time being. But
you're going to ignore it? Everyone is kicking off, Ross.
For God's sake.
Are you trying to get sacked?
I don't know.
Are you trying to get sacked?
I don't know what's happened. I definitely changed it. What?
I need to lie down, guys. Oh dear.
I'm so bad at this. Oh my god, yeah, I'm just gonna have to I think I'll be sacked after this. This is probably my last time on this.
I think a restart is being overruled.
So no restart. Okay, so I'll apologise to Lucas personally after this race about where he is, because that was completely.
I think he needs financial compensation for that.
Yeah, I think I might need to have the PayPal or something, because that was yeah. Um, yeah, I'll hopefully I'll hopefully not do this again. If it ends up happening again, I'm sure I will be sacked 100%. But anyway, let's just move on and just get on with it. Uh, let's just get on with it for now. I hope everyone is still in the stream ready to watch this very good race ahead of us. Liam Bowman on pole, PSR Plaggy P2, Carsey P3, NOS Allwyn P4. Predictions in the chat for who is going to be, who's going to win the race. Liam Bowman looking like the far favourite so far with that 19.9 in qualifying, a 10th clear of PSR Placky and P2. It'll be an interesting race ahead of us. Not long to go till lights out. I'd love to see who y'all think is going to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can't go on too much longer with this anyway. So we've been going an hour on the stream, and the race has not started. So, yeah, it's difficult because I have admin duties as well as trying to commentate. So let's see on this one.
Yeah, I kind of just. Let's see. Let's just see everyone. Let's just see how we get on. I think that's the best thing we do.
Okay, I think we are going. So yeah, let's get on with it. Like I said, who have we got in the live chat? Is anybody making predictions? No, I think it's just been abused. I'm afraid. Rather than
Understandable.
I mean, I think in a live chat position, I'd be doing the same thing. We're awaiting a countdown from the game, I think, at this point. Because I don't actually know how long left. Yeah, I love you too, Bella Fox. Yep. Absolutely. Thank you for the moral support during this difficult time. But speaking of difficult times, let's have a good time as all 5 lights are on now ahead of the drivers. And they're out. Sam runs away for the opening race in TRS. And it's a good start from the pole sitter, Liam Bowman. The Williams of Ruben Paulinho pulling to the left-hand side then aggressively as he tries to make moves for Team Shizou. Here we go then into turn 1 now. And Liam Bowman holds the lead of the race. And a Placky ahead of Ogween, ahead of Carsey, who are wheel to wheel coming through turn 2 now. It's Ogween on the inside through turn 3. We've had some spins and it's Zinity and Furious down the order alongside a few other cars, including Furious Magician in there as well. Big moment there at the start of the race. They are managing to get going once again. Down the inside comes Ruben Paulinho on Carsey as he tries to force him out wide and get the exit here as well. The long way round incoming into turn number 7. Can he go the long way round? Let's see. Has he got the move done? I think actually cut the corner there going through the kink of 8 into turn 9. He's still got the outside line. He's ahead the Frenchman and up into 4th.
Yeah, great start by Ruben there, picking up positions, but Carsey's right around the outside once again. A great run out of the corner and moving himself up into P4 once again. The front 4 on the hard tyre. Ruben on the medium tyre, so he really should be making up some positions early on. PSR Arch tucking in there in P6 as well. Drobble in P7, Rain P8. But you said big collision at the start between Zinity and Furious, it looked like, and also Nino picked up in there as well. I'm not sure if any damage has been picked up from those cars. We'll have to wait and see as they all pass by the pit lane. But as they jump onto the straight for the the first time here, Liam Bowman will lead the way after what looks like a strong start at the front. Plackey in P2, Ogwin now up into P3 as well, getting through on Carsey at turn number 4. Up the inside goes Ruben. It's a really slow apex speed for the Williams. He's through in P4, but did Carsey pick up damage? I would like to know. I'm not sure what happened there with Ruben and Carsey, but Ruben's now through into P4 on the mediums, and they were looking to make up positions very, very quickly.
Positions gained on the opening lap. PR Lucas, who was incorrectly put 6th, incorrectly put last, is up 6 positions. Findium as well, up 6 from his start of P15. So some fantastic gains there made on the opening lap. Here we go then with the tyre strategies. A few on mediums, including Ruben Paulinho, which will explain his aggression at the start and his need to get moves done early. That is a very early penalty for PSR Arch. Lap 2, and already in the books with a 3-second time penalty. That is not the start the Brit would have wanted. All change down at FGE with Halogenac getting ahead of Triart, who obviously are both on the differing strategies. An understandable move.
Yeah, no, it was a good move there from Tree as well, just making sure that he kept out the way of his teammate who can try and make his way through on those medium tyres. 3-second penalty for BRT. Magician MVR remain still there in P10 as well. Findy on P9, Rain P8. Everyone kind of just making their way through at the minute. To see that train forming at the front and see at the back are kind of separating away from the lot of them as FRT Rainless looks up the inside now of Drobo 9276 for MVR, and FRT driver moves up the inside and into P7 nicely. That was a good start from Rain. Up into P7 with Arch ahead with a penalty. It's looking like he's going to be gaining P6 as well soon.
Yeah, indeed. One big single file queue then, and even those at the back of the field are not really out of this at the moment. I think they all escaped damage, which is of course encouraging. Might be carrying some minor damage, but around here I think you'd lose a lot more time compared to some of the other circuits, considering most of the corners are flat out or indeed very quick corners indeed. Ruben Paulinho still in 4th at the moment on the tail of NRX Ogwin, coming now through turn number 10 and onto the kink of turn 11. Could be a little DRS straight here, but it isn't for understandable reasons, considering the flat-out triple right-hander that follows. Still on board with the Williams, then jumping on into turn number 14 and into 15. A tricky left-hander because the bump right on the apex upsetting the car, and the drivers have to be quick to react to any sort of slide.
Yeah, no, you need to be quick to make sure you don't spin that car around, because if you spin it around, you're going to lose a lot of positions, especially in this train. All separated by about less than a second from P1 down into P number 16 for Moo Milk and CRF1 Easton, making good positions from the start of the race. The 3 medium runners though in that midfield pack, Logan at Findium and Ruben all making up positions as well. Harvey through into P2, but Triart back up the inside for Inaha Scar Alpha 30 trying to hold the outside line. He's got the inside,
no.
And then it goes round.
Oh no.
Goes Tree, and that's Harvey into the wall and out of the race. Is that our first safety car of the season? It is. That was a terrible incident to watch, to be fair. Harvey on the inside, Tree on the outside. Tree's been taken in that as well, so Tree loses positions, but Harvey now out the race.
He is indeed, and for the first time, the safety car graphic. Thanks, Harv. Yeah, it's unfortunate, really. Bringing up the safety car graphic. JT did it. And it would have been rude not to use it, but yeah, a collision involving Harv there, and of course Triart, who was turned around in the process as well. Shizu Nino was involved in a lap 1 incident alongside a few other cars, but the safety car out for the first time. What do the hard runners do in this situation? I mean, it's only lap 4, but I mean, 2 sets of mediums would be quite enticing at this stage.
Yeah, no, medium could be the strategy to go. Liam Bowman staying out. Looks like their front 3 have stayed out. Meantime, though, Arch into the pits. He is also says along with Rain, along with Drobo and Findium as well on the medium tyre. He believes now is a good time to stop for that hard compound set. It looks like everyone else is going to be staying out. Carsey is moved up into P5. Arch now pitting. I believe that'll be for some medium tyres. Is for some medium tyres. Out he comes into around P13. So you can see the back of the grid really all taking that kind of hard medium route. Kind of everyone on mediums except Finlay, obviously on the hard. He started on the medium compound tyre, along with Nino, who's also went on to a set of soft tyres. Actually, never mind. I thought Nino would go on to another set of mediums, maybe even a hard tyre, but he just likes a soft tyre for now. So maybe a pit stop next lap on the hard tyres. Maybe he just carries on the softs. You'll need to wait and see. But that is a interesting call by Shizu with Ruben up in P4. So Nino on the soft tyres is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, Arch losing 5 track positions there, which isn't too bad. I think it was a gamble worth making, because him being the first car into the pit lane, a lot, I think, actually might have made the decision based on that. So, going to get quite an interesting race here. Shizu Nino obviously started on the medium tyres, has gone on to the softs, might switch to the hards and risk going to the end. It is doable from this sort of position, but you do actually run the risk of getting a puncture at the end of the race. Some breaking news, you're in the office after this race. I'm sure you accept that. You are.
I think
getting the cane.
Understandable.
You are getting all sorts of 1980s punishments from Tom Net.
I think it's... Yeah, I expect the worst, to be honest, but I think it'll just be a probably a telling off for the mishaps that's happened today, which is understandable. I can only apologise for what's happened. Obviously, the restart alone and messing up Lucas's grid position is something I did not mean. Genuinely, I did not mean to do that, but I cannot say Lucas up in P8 already. It's good to see that he's already back fighting and in that midfield pack.
Yeah, he is indeed. He deserves this opportunity. First of all, at Parnell Racing, but of course to make a comeback. Up 12 positions so far. It's lap 6 of 29. Triart is into the pit. Oh, sorry, no, it's Shizu Nino into the pit lane, which got a little bit mixed up there on the timing tower. But if this is for a set of hards, it wouldn't be a surprise to see him go to the end. I've seen punctures after 22 laps here before. Oh, hang on. No, that's softs again. Not sure what the point of that was, unless it was just a placeholder and then actually attack on a fresh set of softs, but he's going to have to use them to catch back up regardless. So
I think he might have meant to go on the hard. I think that's a mistake again. I don't think he wanted to do his softs there. I'm not sure what the call is. I can see both Shizu drivers, Ali and Smeggy, in the chat saying what is he doing. So I'm going to guess that I'm gonna guess something's gone wrong, and either on his side, or if it's just that just is what he actually thinks he wants to do. So, if it works, it works. Yeah, I'm also confused, to be fair. I'm not sure what he's doing.
I don't think it will work. But if it does, miracle. Apparently, there's no engineer. Sometimes you just need that reminder to, actually select the tyres. So. Yeah, I mean, just having that person there can be quite important. Arch is P11. He was P6, but came into the pit lane under this safety car period, and it could be that it is in at the end of this lap. Thank you to the 75 people tuning in for round 1 of AEC Tier S. We appreciate it is quite late now. We've still got a long way to go in this race. Let's take the safety car graphic off. You don't need to see that, because the safety car's going in. Will be green at the end of this lap, and it's Liam Bowman who's led every single lap of this race so far from pole positions. The only driver getting into the 1:19s. He will get us underway here.
Yeah, here we go, Liam Bowman leading the way on those old set of hard tyres, along with Ruben on the 5-lap mediums and Halogenac 5-lap mediums as well. So from P11 down, they are all on a fresh set of tyres. Liam Bowman, though, rounds out the corner and leads his way down the straight for what will be the start of lap 7 of 29. Another 22 laps of racing to go around this LaSalle circuit. Liam Bowman leading the way from PSR Placky. Anna Ogden as well, looking to get good. No one really getting that flyer for restart. Looks like Anna Furious at the back, though, looking to get the move done and moving milk on the inside on the fresh medium tyres. Furious up the inside of the Ferrari. There he goes. Through he goes into P16, and Furious now looking to get through on condition quickly as well.
Yeah, same tyres there on both cars, so an important move to make, of course. Further forward, though, still not much change. Just Triart is trying to overtake Moo Moo Milk, the Canadian driver in the Ferrari. Is there an opportunity to go down the inside at turn 6? He has a little look, but he's not interested. But Moo Moo Milk's actually got a little bit wide here. That's invited Triart to go wide, and here comes Nino as well. On the soft tyres, he's got to be making moves. Clearly on the wrong strategy. He's just got to try and make the most of this now. Trying to get the exit, using a little bit of the overtake button, but nothing doing there in the battle for P18. Further forward, Arch is up into P10, and Zinity, though, still alongside him, but making their way into the triple right-hander. Zinity has barely a choice but to back out and hold on to P11 there, but Rain also pressuring the back of TTM Zinity, and just look at the difference in grip. 6 lap-old hards versus 2 lap-old mediums, which have barely been used under this safety car period. Down the inside, Rain goes to the final corner. Arch has also cleared Easton. The medium runners starting to make their moves.
Yeah, exactly. When you see a big spin at the back, though, between Moo Milk and Shizu Nino, Nino getting very, very, I guess, aggressive on the back of Moo Milk into that last corner, and it just spun the car around into the back of the Ferrari car. They both end up losing out at the back in the AEC 19 for them. Nino was really struggling through that flat out section to make manoeuvres. You would think that the fresh tyres, the fresh soft tyres, would be the best, the best tyre to be on at this point. If you're going to be on the softs, and probably not instead of actual strategy, but for right now, those softs should be really good. So Nino not getting those moves done earlier was a bit surprising to me. I thought he would have kind of, been a bit more aggressive on the overtakes, but nevertheless, big battle in the midfield. It looks like between the Alfa Romeo and the Aston Martin. I don't know what's happened to Magician and Drobble. I'm sure you caught it on the stream, Joseph. Drobble still through in P12, the Magician in P15.
Yeah, he did. Magician was actually trying to put his car in a very precarious position. There was already 2 cars going side by side, and I think Magician realised and was quite fortunate actually to not come off worse from that. FRT, Rain and Lucas having a battle. Arch and Halogenac having a battle. Mediums against mediums, but the difference in life proving a major factor there for Arch, who was P6 before the safety car and is now back up into P6 on the best tyres of everybody, with everybody still to make another pit stop in this race as well. So that double medium strategy, the 3-second time penalty as well for Arch, do not count him out of a race victory here. The DRS now enabled, won't be in use for lap 9, but will come into play as we end the lap and go on to lap 10. Battling here in the midfield, here comes Zinity, Drobble has overtaken him, and FRT Rain as well has cleared NVR Amin there. And Shizu Nino on the soft tyres in the clean air, getting the fastest lap of the race as well at this point. But it's Liam Bowman who's cleared DRS. 1.1 seconds he leads.
Yeah, no, he actually was really gapping Placky into that first sector. It looks like Placky's had a terrible kind of middle part of that first sector. He's now lost 2 tenths alone from Liam Bowman. I last seen when he was about 9.5 tenths back, so Placky's got some catching up to do. He needs to get that DRS to Liam Bowman, otherwise it's going to be a runaway for the man at the front, the Scotsman at the front, leading the way still for Novice Racing. Drobble down in P11, obviously put on fresh medium tyres. He's going to make manoeuvres anyway. On PR, Lucas through, he goes into P10. Drobble is also making manoeuvres, trying to follow up on Arch ahead, along with Rain as well, so he's trying to see if he can clear Amin quickly. See there's a spin at the back, it looks like, for Findayum in P17 now into P18. Furious also clearing Lucas into P11. Furious as well, making up big positions on the medium tyres, but no one else really making any sort of manoeuvres so far. Right in the back though, PSR Arch on the back of Carsey on those old hard tyres. PSR Arch in the fresh mediums, he's got a bit of battery to use now. Can he get the overtake done with the DRS enabled?
Here we go then, on board with PSR Arch. Long DRS straight from when it's open, 200 metres after the final corner. But Carsey also has that DRS assistance. Arch now pulling out of the slipstream. It's a drag race into the first corner, but so much confidence on the brakes for PSR Arch, who's up now into P5. Some battling further down the order, and it involves again BRT Magician, who's already made some overtaking attempts. He's finally starting to get them done now though, and cleanly, with Triart and Lucas involved as well. Finding in the pit lane, becoming our second retirement of the race as well. The driver who qualified for Pro Exhibition in 2022. In 2023, he made 1 appearance in the F1 Esports Challenger Series. We know what he is capable of, but he's not reached those heights yet on this game, as we know. Here comes Arch, looking to make another move, already harassing the back of Ruben Paulinho. Can he get the job done? I don't think he will in the final sector. He might have to wait to turn 1 yet again, but we can just see how confident he is.
Yeah, Arch knows he's so much faster than these guys ahead, those fresh mediums compared to those 4-lap older mediums. On Shizuru Ruben will be much faster down the straight, but Arch is 3 second, really could just harm him a little bit during the back end of this race when everyone else makes their pit stops along with Arch. So he's on the inside now of Shizuru Ruben, and into P4 he goes, now chasing down NRS Ogwin ahead. He's already about 5 tenths behind Ogwin is Arch, so he's going to look for that move. But Ogwin ahead though, he's going to get through on PSR Blackie and jump himself up into P2. He's going to be the chaser now of Liam Bowman. He must be quicker than Blackie. Blackie must be struggling a little bit more on those older hard tyre. Drobble through as well, and Halogan up, but very wide goes Drobble into turn 1, but into turn 2 he comes up the inside on Haloginak, and into P8 goes Drobble.
Yeah, he does indeed. And here we go then with NRX Furious. But Arch has got past Placky. I'm sure that was a very coordinated overtake for PSR as we continue to watch this battle in the midfield for P10 at the moment. Will anybody make the move into turn 6? Amin picks up a 3-second penalty. Here comes Magician, who's locked the rears and goes into a spin. It was inevitable from when he hit the brakes hard. And Magician into a spin once again. He's really been struggling with those inside line moves at turn 6. That's the second time he's been a victim of that exact pinch point, but unfortunately for him, he's got to restart all of his hard work once again.
Yeah, again, struggling qualifying. It looks to be a struggle race as well for the Bunga Racing Team driver. Carsey's doing well up in front of the old tards. Magician just not having a good time down there. Yeah, just to lock the rears into that hairpin. It just wasn't meant to be for him on that overtaking. Yeah, he's cost Tree RT some major positions as well due to that collision. But at the front, no, PSR Arch has closed a lot on NRX Ogway now. Those tyres are still absolutely in a fantastic window for PSR Arch. You know, pulls the inside line, and he now jumps up into P2. Placky has actually been dropped out of DRS and now back into FRT Rain on the inside. It's going to be a big battle into turn 1. Up the inside, Trish Ruben. Placky has been overtaken by FRT Rain. That was a good coordinated move by Rain. Ruben was trying to get round the outside now, switches to the inside line for Ruben. Placky losing 2 positions in 2 corners.
Sensational double overtake there by FRT. Rain was committed. He moved to the inside offline. It can prove difficult into the first corner, but he got the job done. And he's well on course to contend for these podium positions. Rain scored 35 points for FRT last season. He won the moment of season for his overtake in Hungary. That's an early contender for overtake of the season. If that is indeed an award we're doing in Tier S, get it written down, somebody, because we might see better, but that so far is a nice benchmark. He also scored P2 in the mini-series finale in Abu Dhabi, so we know what FRT Rain is certainly capable of. Liam Bowman still leads by 1.6 seconds. Not too much of an advantage lost compared to PSR Arch, which just shows you how well Liam Bowman is driving at the moment, and still got a healthy amount of ERS considering as well. Ruben Paulinho pulling into the pit lane then. Is there an issue for the Williams driver, or is he just committing now and going and making his one and only pit stop onto a set of hards?
Yeah, probably the perfect time. You can see but dropping off on those medium tyres. I'm surprised to not see Placky in the pits, to be honest. He's been looking, slower and slower as the laps go on. He's now flashing with ERS. The ERS regain per lap at this track is really, really low. You don't really gain anything back, but I think this could be the pit lap for PSR Black. He's using absolutely everything in that battery package at the front to be kind of pull as much of a gap to Drobble behind and see if he can, get a good gap into the pit lane. But Arch at front is really, really closing up that gap to Liam Bowman as well. He's gained about 4 tenths in the last lap. But Liam Bowman is absolutely flying out there on those hard tyres, still just keeping it composed, keeping it nice and calm. And yeah, the pit stop should be coming in soon for those guys on the hard tyres.
Yeah, it should indeed. I can't quite remember what sort of lap you're looking to pick. I mean, 13 is sort of undercut territory, but about 15, I think, considering the laps under the safety car, might give you the best chance on the medium tyres to keep them well under control towards the end of the race as well. And I think, considering the possibility of another safety car, I think there would just be a little bit of hesitation. But PSR Placky pulling into the... sorry, that's not Placky, that's Carsey pulling into the pit lane. Good to see. I'm just getting mixed up with the camera angles. I see a car, and I think it's somebody else. Carsey into the pits for a set of mediums, and it is the lap 13 pit stop I was mentioning.
Yeah, no, into the pits it comes. I was in a touching by the teammate. He'll be onto a set of medium tyres, as you said, but undercut territory right about now. So he's got really not a lot to lose, to be honest. He was sat in P7, not really going anywhere, so he thought, you know what, let's try this. Medium tyres will be pretty fresh as they come to the end, about 15 laps old, as he has to probably have a pretty good outlap, but he is going to be jumped by Milk and also Shazoo Rubin, who's just a pit as well. So at the front, though, still Arch gaining and gaining and gaining on Liam Bowman. And it's Ogwin still in the DRS, along with PSR Placky, though still out of the DRS, along with Haloginak, who's on the 13-lap old medium tyres, with the NRS Furious behind him, chasing away in his 9-lap old medium tyres. It will be an interesting fight to see where these fresh medium, well, not really fresh anymore, but the kind of first pitters under the safety car will come out when all these pit stops happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Carsey should comfortably make it to the end, I agree. But, you know, it could be very vulnerable depending on how late these drivers respond. But that is, at the end of the day, more of an undercut for him. So, you know, it could play out either way. But the race leader, Liam Bowman, who's led every single lap from lap 1 to lap 13, comes into the pit lane late on the brakes. A controlled pit entrance for the Scottish driver, who, if he wins this race, we wouldn't consider it a surprise. If he wins 3, 4, maybe 5 races this season, I don't think we'd be surprised. An incredible driver, certainly, on this year's F1 game. He comes into the pit lane, should have some comfortable, clean air as well, and he's sort of protected himself from another undercut.
Yeah, this should be the pit lap for quite a lot of people. Ogwin possibly as well. Placky probably should be in the pits. It depends on when Arch feels like he wants to pit as well, because obviously if you're on that medium strategy, your pit lap really isn't far away for now. Maybe people might try to go for a soft tyre, but a bit of a gamble, to be honest. See, though, Shizunino also went onto the hard tyre from his soft tyres he was on as well. He knew they weren't going to go to the end. He realised his mistake, and now jumps onto the hard tyre. Milk at the back, a P15, also 10-lap old medium tyre. So it's just a wide variety of tyres. Obviously, people on 10-lap old mediums, some people on 14-lap old hards. Pit laps are coming up soon. That pit lane will be very, very hectic as this race moves on. Obviously, Ogwin still in that DRS of Arch. He's done really well to keep battery and also stick in the DRS of PSR Arch, who's on less battery and better tyres at the moment. So Ogwin might possibly even stay out one more lap, but I don't see it anyway yet. Ogwin does indeed dive into the pit lane and get his pit stop off on lap 15.
Here we go then. It's going to be a race to the pit line. Don't rule out any shenanigans here. Because of how wide and inviting the pit entrance is. There's contact there, who saw a big slowing down there from Ogwin, catching Rain out, who really wasn't going that quickly. I think about 20 miles an hour at the point of contact. So both drivers just tripping over each other on the pit entrance. But let's see how much Liam Bowman sort of gaps them by, because that is the real battle we're watching at the moment. As he comes out now down the start-finish straight, well clear of Ogwin and of Rain as well. But Carsey setting the fastest lap of the race. He's going to be well within the mix, and he's cleared FRT Rain, setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far into the 23s. A really good showing by Carsey.
Yeah, provisional P1 for Liam Bowman currently after all the pits that have happened ahead of him. But Shazoo Rubin into P2, 3-lap old hard tyres. Everyone behind him, Ogwin, Carsey, Rain and Furious on fresh mediums. So he's got a bit of a task ahead of him to try and defend from these guys on the much faster tyres. But he probably has to just hope and pray that as the race goes on, as those tyres wear his kind of to even out a bit more, and he can try and stick in with them. But yeah, it really is a big ask for Rubin, trying to also gain that 3.6 second gap to Liam Bowman ahead, and you can see if he can try and pick up some good points for Shazoo here.
Yeah, indeed. Slightly wide there from Ogwin. Got to be careful not to accumulate warnings at this stage as well. Easy to, you know, just overstep the limit, sort of fresh set of tyres. But into the pit lane, we've got Drobble and we've got Haloginak as well. 15 laps down on those mediums for Haloginak. Drobble 11 following his safety car pit stop. Arch, who also pit under the safety car, continues to lead the way here, but does need to make another stop. Bit of a hold up, but that might have just been a visual glitch. And Haloginak has got onto softs. No, surely not.
Yeah, I don't think that's the call. It's a gamble, a massive gamble, but I just do not see them going to the end. They'll be very, very high in wear. It's just not competitive at all as the race moves on. But still at the front though, Arch not pitting yet, along with Magician, Placky and Easton as well, and Tree RT, should I say. Liam Bowman still 7 seconds back on Tree RT and P5, so but he is catching rapidly as Liam Bowman. NRX Ogwin though with about 40% more battery than Liam Bowman ahead, and everyone around him pretty much. Everyone kind of on the same reign, also on about 52%. Drobble on 56%. So yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag currently with where everyone is in terms of battery and also where they are on track position. We might see some pit stops as they all come through the kind of sector 3 part of the track now. Arch and Plackey still the first 2 cars on track. Arch staying out, does Plackey into the pits? Plackey is into the pits on his 16 lap old hard, lap 17. Where will Plackey come out is my question.
His pace did stall a little bit, but he's into the pit lane now, and he will be able to jump on those fresh medium tyres as well. Penalty for Ruben Paulinho. That will impact his progress. He's already been overtaken by Ogwin. Triart, here he comes down the start-finish straight, and he's up into P2 now as well. Plackey is also going for the soft tyres, so I'm starting to be led to believe that it might be a viable strategy. So, you know, if Elogenac and FGE pull this off, then fair play to him. A 23-1 on that lap for NRX Ogwin, who now sets the fastest lap of the race. 3.3 seconds, though, behind the net race leader, Liam Bowman. Here comes Carsey. 2 laps extra done on those medium tyres. He and Rain have both cleared Ruben Paulinho. Elogenac on Plackey. The 2 soft runners going at it. They've rejoined the circuit right next to each other. Through turn 3 they go. This is a huge battle for track position in this Qatar Grand Prix. But Plackey, who's just exited the pit lane, fresher tyres, has got the job done.
Yeah, no, that was very good. Battle between those two, kept it clean. Plackey just that 1 lap fresher tyre seems to have just got the advantage on him down that straight there. But yeah, I got to say at the front though, Josie, I think you're right. I think the soft tyres probably are in that bad of a window. I may have overestimated how the tyres really do wear on the softs at Qatar. So yeah, maybe they probably will go to the end if Plackey does it. Probably will be seeing Arch do it now, so he dives into the pit lane, hitting the pit lane now. So Triart staying out 1 more lap on his medium tyres, but Liam Bowman is catching very, very quickly. He's going to be seeing how much he can try and gain on Arch now and see how much of a gap he can pull to the rest of the field behind.
Soft tyres going on then for PSR Arch, who has got some laps led to his name. Liam Bowman, though, let's just see how big the gap is and how much he might have to catch to be within a shot of winning. Look at all the cars going past. There's 8th, there's 9th coming up in NRX Furious. Wheel to wheel between Elogenac and Plackey once again. The 2 soft tyre runners have inverted, but make that 3 soft tyres now on the circuit as PSR Arch re-emerges as well. Let's have a look at the time penalties. 3 seconds for Ruben, for Arch, for Amin, for Lucas, for Magician, and 6 for Moomin Milk as well. The back 2 still for ETE, which is where they initially qualified to. But yeah, obviously unsurprising to see those 2 towards the back end at this stage. But Tree, though, leading the way. 14 laps done on those medium tyres. I think he'll be next in for a set of softs.
Yeah, it's got to be. Probably was want to see what Arch and Plackey did in terms of strategy. Sees Elogenac as well in the battle with those 2, but I think he might come up in a bit of a worse gap, Joseph. He's not got that big of a gap between himself and even down to even the back
Liam
2 cars.
Bowman.
Oh my goodness me, that is a massive moment in this race. Probably a very, very stupid moment for Liam Bowman. He does have that 3-second gap to NRS Ogwin now, but the question is, can he keep it until at the end of the race? 10 more racing laps to go. Triart stays out again on those medium tyres. Liam Bowman also now 3-second penalty, 2.9 seconds is the gap currently. So Ogwin now is on course to be taking this win, but Liam Bowman, he's got to get a move on.
He is on course for taking this victory, and I tell you what, a safety car would completely wipe out that gap and could see him lose a lot more positions at the moment as well. The 2 Parnell Racing drivers swapping positions, and here comes Zinity as well. He's wheel to wheel with NVR Amin, coming now through turn number 2. Around the outside goes Zinity. Amin trying to hold it in there, and indeed the Alpine driver does get the job done, losing 2 positions there. NVR Amin, 2.5 seconds now the gap, and Liam Bowman is going to start to pick up some dirty air from the race leader, Triart, who is still yet to make his 2nd pit stop in this race as well. Finbob asks the point system. It's good that you should ask that. I've got it here for you. 30 for race victory, 25 for P2, 21 for P3, then 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the top 14. I won't sit here all day. It's in the rule book. But the top 3, I'm sure you'll be more than interested to hear about that. 2.4 now, the gap, as Ogwyn continues to push that gap down, but Arch on the back of Furious as well. Furious will want to do a job here just to try and preserve his teammates' potential charge for the race victory. Liam Bowman has taken the lead on the circuit. Drobble is ahead of Ruben as well. It's all change in this mid-pack. Arch next up, chasing Furious, chasing Ruben, and this could be another double overtake imminently, as into turn 1, Arch down the inside. It's another double overtake.
Yeah, Arch really is getting a move on those softs. Exactly what the rest of them should have been doing. Arch has just been a real standout in this race already. He showed his pace on the medium tyres. Now we're going to show it on the softs. We're picking up positions left, right and centre. Everyone ahead though, pretty much on a fresher set of medium tyres, other than Tree RT, who is obviously yet to pit since that safety car on lap 4. So 16 lap old mediums will be on very, very high wear at this current stage, so we should be seeing him in the pits very shortly. But you've got to be careful though, Joseph. Tree RT could be a bit of a hold up for NRS Ogwyn if he is not careful, and Ogwyn needs to just hope that Tree pits this lap, and if not, it could be a hold up during that whole middle sector if he doesn't catch him in time. Yeah,
the Czech driver playing a little bit into the hands of, you know, both drivers here, considering he's staying out, it seems, for both of them. He just tries and waits on potential late race safety car. Arch right on the back now of Drobble as well. 4 laps down on those medium tyres. He's in a very good position to push flat out to the end as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him try and pull potentially a defensive manoeuvre on Arch, but he also does know that Arch has that 3-second time penalty. Here comes Ogwyn. He's got to burn. He's got to make the move. He pulls to the inside. Down the inside he goes at turn 1. There's a bit of frustration as the FGE driver still yet to come into the pit lane. Arch, though, ahead of Drobble, and he's up into P6.
Yeah, not much Drobble could really do about that. He probably could have picked the inside line, but it would have been a hopeless battle to know. He knows that Arch has that 3-second time penalty, so as long as he doesn't drop out too much from Arch, he knows that he will be picking up that position anyway. So, yeah, he's got Carsey up next. Arch trying to get by. Carsey flashing away. Arch at 50% ERI, so we look to the inside line now, into the hairpin. He doesn't get the inside line into the hairpin. We've seen Magician have a big collision there with, I believe it was FGE Tree RT, so through there goes Arch into, and was a nicely planned move on the hairpin. Carsey doesn't really battle it in P6. Now Arch in a P5, chasing down FRT Rain in P4.
Apparently Tree RT is trying to get to the end, which if he is, good luck. I don't think he can, but if he does, I will, I don't know what I'd do. I would say gift a subscription, but that is £4 down the drain, isn't it? But, you know, there's no other financial incentive. Oh, and he's got a penalty. So that's him definitely off the podium. Someone's into the pit lane. He's not going to the end. He is pitting, and on the lap he pits, he gets a penalty as well. So, not ideal, but there could still potentially be some points to play for.
Yeah, definitely. I think the whole chat, I think he must have read the Twitch chat. I think everyone was kind of saying, what is he planning on doing here? Because 23 laps on mediums was definitely not the strategy to go for. But I've got to say, with his teammates making up positions here, so Logan up right the inside of NRS Furious now, up into P7. So this is fantastic points for False Group Esports doing their very best on their debut race. And I believe it's their debut race or whatever it is in this full season. So we could to see if they can get on during the whole part of the season. Obviously, they didn't get up to much during the small part they brought into last season, so a first full season for them. They'll be looking to see how many points they can pick up early on. I tell you what, a P7 in the first race is not the worst for a team that's booked in last by practically everybody.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we recorded that, and we weren't anticipating the TF10 thing and whatnot, and we did have a few words exchanged with, I can't remember who it was, but obviously now with the situation that TF10 and whoever comes in now, and I think AERT might have some races depending on the situation with ETE and CAM's management and whatever goes on with them. I don't think they'll finish last, and to that we hold our hands up and say, shit, sorry, but we didn't know at the time. So yeah, it's brilliant to see FGE starting to prove us wrong, and that's the whole point of predictions, isn't it? So yeah, good on them. Easton picking up a penalty. He's down in P15. 1 off the points. And here comes Arch. Down the inside of FRT Rain. Rain still on the net podium places. Drobble down the inside of Carsey. This is for Annette 4th at the moment. But Liam Bowman still needs to find 6 tenths to win this race over Ogwyn.
Yeah, I think Carson realises that undercut was just a little bit too early on the medium tyres. Now 10 laps over and there are 5 laps to go. He's pulled pretty much what Tree did with his tyres. Going to be going about 15 laps on those medium tyres, which won't be competitive enough to stay ahead of the likes of Haloginak on the 7-lap old soft tyres. So he'll have older soft tyres and PSR Placky and PSR Art, so he might be more struggling towards the end of the race as well, but only time will tell on that respect. F40 Rain is catching back at the PSR Arch. He's only 5 tenths back of DRS to assist him in trying to keep in that 3-second gap of PSR Arch. I tell you what, though, at the front, Liam Bowman and NRS Ogween, it's a very close battle. Ogween knows all he has to do is stay another 6 tenths of Liam Bowman. He's picking up the first win of the AEC Tier S season. Also, NRS, a very team looking to retain their title this season, and what a way it'll be to win the first race.
They're dead even on pace, they're dead even on ERS. This is certainly not over yet. Here are the penalties by request. 3 seconds for Bowman, for Arch, for Ruben, and then 6 for Lucas, 3 for Amin, 6 for Magician, 3 for Easton. So Easton's actually picking up a penalty as it stands for ETE. Point on the board, cannot complain with that. And then Nino, Triarty, and then Moo Milk on 9 seconds, well off the back of the pack as well. So that's just an update. We're looking at the fights for the podium specifically, but the points paying positions are still being exchanged at the moment as well. Here comes TTM Zinity on the back of Lucas. He's just been overtaken by the Parnell Racing driver. Let's check Ogween's warnings. I think that's fair to do both drivers here. Liam Bowman picking up 2 more warnings since his penalty. Ogween is still on 2 warnings as well. Another warning for Ogween, it's a penalty. Another warning for Bowman, it's a penalty. No mistakes from now on.
Yeah, especially for Liam Bowman, 6 seconds of penalties is definitely not the way you want to be starting off the season. NRS Ogween, obviously, 3 seconds doesn't give him the win, but he does still end up keeping that P2, it seems, ahead of Arch, as Arch has also only got a 3-second, but F40 Rain can get a move on. He is in P4 currently with no penalties, but he's on obviously 9-lap old mediums, Arch on 6-lap old softs, so yeah, really it's just a battle to the end to see who can get the better positions and who can just not get any penalties.
Yeah, absolutely. Game of cat and mouse now for the final 4 laps of this Qatar Grand Prix. And for the very first time in AEC, it has been a thriller. 1 safety car caused from FRT Harvey's collision with Triarty. He pit late on and now doesn't really have much hope of scoring points. Finally, I'm retiring in the pit lane following an early spin as well. Zinity and Lucas still battling. And it's another change for P11. Zinity, I think, will still finish there despite not having a penalty over Ruben in front of him. That's for P10. So Shizou on course to score points tonight. They didn't score in the first 4 races of last season, so already getting off to a better start than they did last season. As it stands, 2.5 now the gap. That's only a 10th, but a 10th per lap. I mean, it could do it.
He really can do it, you're right, Joseph. He is still building into that gap. I tell you what, Haloginak is on his way to try and see if he can pull up some more positions as well for FG. He's trying to see if he can just keep ahead of Furious and Placky. He knows how fast those 2 are behind him, but with a bit of ERS to his name, he can defend from them down that straight. 11-lap old mediums, 9-lap old softs, so be on a little bit more wear his softs compared to Furious's mediums, so yeah, it just is a kind of case of can he defend enough to hold back these 2? Can he maybe force a mistake out of these 2 drivers? But beating them, the high caliber teams that they are, the mistakes are very uncommon for the likes of Furious and Placky. So Haloginak just does his very best to see how long he can hold on for.
Yeah, I'm sorry again, guys, but I can feel another imminent game crash. It's so bad, at least in my headphones. It is so bad, this game. It's audio and spectator. But look at this battle. Just to try and save the day here. It's Placky the long way round. And he's got up into P7 with a spectacular move on Furious and Haloginak there for P7 on the track. So, Placky really getting a move on now. Could have maybe finished higher tonight. Potentially not the ideal strategy, but those that did pit under the safety car have found themselves with a bit of a natural advantage here with Arch, with Rain, with Drobble, to name a few. Carsey's undercut sort of stalled really, never really got going, but he's holding on now to P6, which would be a fantastic result for Bunga Racing Team. The circuit Carsey really goes well at.
Yeah, no, he always seems to do really well at the newest track to the F1 23 game. Also, Magician into that 2 point range, which will also be not too bad for Bungawace's team. Maybe some penalties along the way for the cars ahead, but also only time will tell when the Stewards report comes out later on. I believe it'll probably be about this week or next week. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in that sort of Stewards report, see if any changes can be made to the finishing positions. But tell you what, though, the front drop was also trying to see if he can get ahead of Carson, because Carson seems to be doing pretty well now with his medium tyres. Although 3 laps older, he does have a bit of battery, and he still has DRS to assist him in some sort of overtake on Drobble. I'll say higher wear, but he knows he can get by, he knows he can make an overtake on Drobble into turn 1. You can see how close he got to the back of the Aston Martin, but he needs to play it smart. He knows the tyres have got wear, he knows he's got less battery. It's just all about seeing what he can do and how strategical he can make that overtake.
Look at this at the front though, 2.9 seconds. It might even tick over 3, and then it is literally level to the end of the race. I cannot emphasise that enough at the moment. Let's see then, going on to the final lap in about a minute's time. FRT Rain still in the net third at the moment. Drobble holding off Carsey, who might make a late charge, as you say, but very even on ERS between the two of them. It's not easy with the single DRS zone to actually make a move. Then, of course, it's a long DRS zone to the line as well. So you either go for it at the start of the final lap or at the end. Both of them can come with their own consequences. But look at that. 3 seconds, Ross. It's ticked over.
Yeah, this is a major part for Ogwen. He needs to push now. Everything he's got. One more lap to go. He's got to just go for it. There's nothing to lose. He's getting P2 no matter what. But we know he wants that P1. Liam Bowman taking a win here would be very helpful towards Norwich Racing's charge for the title. He wants to do his very best. 3.1 is ticked over now. Is it too much to ask for Ogwen to keep in that 3-second gap? FRT Rain though now jumps ahead of PSR Arch, and he will now take that final podium place if things stay the same. But at the front though, the battle for first continues.
Yeah, Rain perhaps just making sure on track as well, just in case of any appeals. Arch got that penalty, by the way, on lap 2. He's done very well to not get any more since then, and he will get P4, but it's still that, you know, that gap to Drobble. We're talking Aston Martins and penalties. Carsey picks up a penalty. Drobble is safe then, surely, for P5, and could potentially still get 4th. Let's see then. The gap, 3.036 coming through turn 9. Unbelievably close between the two. Driver's rightly saying in the live chat, Bowman's either winning or he's not. Yeah, that is how it works. It does tend to work like that. My game is seriously stuttering. I can barely hear a thing now. But we're just going to have to go with this. With 2 more corners left to go in the Grand Prix, it is neck and neck between Liam Bowman and NRX Ogween. But look, 3.002. Who's going to get the victory coming up to the line? It's about the straight line speed. Bowman wins on track. Ogween to the line. Bowman wins the season opener in Qatar by a 10.5 on penalties. A fantastic performance from Bowman, who under pressure continued to extend the gap. It's FRT Rain finishing 3rd ahead of Drobble, concluding a fantastic nearly double podium for NVR. It's a brilliant result, never mind the double podium, and wasn't quite to be today. PSR Arch in 5th ahead of Carsey, ahead of Furious, Placky with a photo finish ahead of Halogenac, Zinity, Ruben Amin, Easton and Lucas rounding off the points. A really spectacular season opener.
Yeah, really good way to start off the season. Congrats to Liam Bowman and Novice Racing on that first to win. It just wasn't enough for NRX Ogween to take that win. He pushed everything he got, but Liam Bowman was too quick on the day to be beat, and Ogween will be happy with a P2 nevertheless. Rain also happy with a P3 for FRT after that early retirement for FRT. Harvey Drobble getting ahead of Arch by 1.5 in the end, so very good stuff from Drobble. It was like a complete opposite. One of Joseph, Drobble had to get ahead of Arch, Bowman had to defend from Ogween. It's just the exact situation. It's the best outcome for Novice Racing. Carson held on, to P6, Furious in P7. That was a fantastic race. And I've got to say though, congrats to Halogenac and FG picking up some good points today in P9. I hope that will help them kick on during the season and have a competitive one for the rest of the tracks.
Yeah, you're right. Bit of a lacklustre performance in Tier S last season, P9, P10 in the mini series out of 11 teams as well. Raised a few eyebrows when they were selected for this invitational season. Kicked off, like I said, when we predicted them last, but I certainly think they can go better than that, and I think they'll keep developing throughout the course of the season as well. Let's have a look at the podium ceremony and then the final results here as well. Liam Bowman saying in the drivers' chat, the Tier S chat, G fucking G's, because I know just how much they were pushing each other there, and although they weren't directly battling each other, that must have been really, really tough mentally to actually try and contend and match each other to better each other over those last 10 or so laps.
Yeah, it would have been like being wheel to wheel through every single corner. It was a tenth and a half. All that separated the Scotsman and the Englishman. It was so close to the end. Got hats off the two of them for giving us a fantastic spectacle to start off the season. Really showing what this season has got in stock for us. I believe that fastest lap point will be picked up by Eurotitan Esports with Moo Milk CA. Getting the fastest lap, and also to remind everyone, a pole position point will also be given to Liam Bowman.
Yes.
So it is a technically grand slam for the Aston Martin man. He's had a fantastic race so far, and I've got to say, well done to Novice Race and also to Ogwyn as well for getting out a fantastic race and a very good P1 and P2 for both those drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh no, we couldn't see the results. My game just slows as well as the race goes on because of the audio. It's really bad. I don't know if it's a streamer client-side thing, but, you know, I can only apologise if the quality did worsen throughout the course of those final few laps. But the game didn't crash, and we were able to deliver the final few laps for you. Let's go back to the main stream then and just give our final words. Of course, next week we do head off to China, which is another pretty favourable track, especially for the pad drivers. Especially it's a favourite for some others as well. I think Harv will be back in action. He finished P2 last season in China. That was one of 5 point scoring finishes. Rock bottom today, unfortunately for him. But any final words from you, Ross?
Just well done everyone tonight. It was a fantastic season opener. I have to say, you got to say fair play to ET yourself, picking up I think it was a point or so in the end for about 20 minutes alert for both their drivers to turn up and do that was quite incredible. So yeah, hats off to them and hats off to everyone. And I'll tell you what, you better be there next week because it's going to be an absolute fantastic race in China. You can already see how the season's going to be.
Apparently I skipped the results, which just isn't true, but, you know, whatever. Thank you guys, anyway, for watching. We'll round off the stream now, and I hope you can join us this time next week in Qatar. Take care, then. Bye-bye.